Good morning. I'm in Kentucky for 1 week. Today is the first morning that we get to hunt. We got here yesterday and we did some scouting. Found some good sign, found some acorn trees that's dropping, good feed tree. Found an intersection of trails that's pretty well heavily used. Found a scrape hub, a pretty good scrape line. We found some deer bedding out in the woods. We also found some deer bedding in some sage high grass. All the crop fields in this area that we're hunting, none of them were planted. So it's just all growed up in high grass. So there's just all kinds of bedding habitat out in that stuff. We jumped several does out of some bedding in the high grass. Found one buck bed up against a wood line out in the high grass. Even walked up on a buck laying down in the high grass, spotted him, and videoed him. He just laid there, bedded down, looking at us until we got a little bit too close for comfort, and he took off. Small buck. My son's out there. He's already left. He's in the woods now. He's already texted me. He says, "Dad, what do I do? I've got deer all around me, and there's a buck chasing a doe and grunting like crazy." I said, "Well, if you know you're in the right spot, go ahead and hang. Hang your stand as soon as you can. Get settled down, get quiet before it's daylight." I said, "If they're running, they'll be back and forth in there. If you're not sure you're in the right spot, sit tight and listen carefully to what the deer are doing. And as soon as it gets gray light enough to see, and you think the coast is clear, very slowly ease in position and get set up, because they will be back. There'll be more deer filtering through there. He's in a good spot. So it's going to be a good morning. I'm going to a completely new spot, going in blind. I've got a hunch that I'm in the right spot. I believe I'm either going to be in a transition area from feed to bed, or I'm going to be right in and around bedding for sure. It's going to be fun this week. Matthew's first morning sit was exciting. It didn't take long at all for action to start happening around him. He said his head was on a swivel all morning. Really nice buck slipped through first thing. He just couldn't get a shot on him. This doe, as she came in, got a whiff of my son's ground scent as he walked in. Not only does this doe study his ground scent, but she continuously looks up into the trees. You can see her here looking straight up into the trees like, "Where are you?" So that's a well-educated doe right there. She's going to be pretty persistent. She's convinced he's around there somewhere. I guess you could say from all the action that my son is sitting in the hot seat this morning. Started out with bucks fighting, grunting and chasing. Finally gets up in his stand. Start seeing does being chased and harassed by other bucks. Nice buck done slipped by him. He couldn't get it on video. Here this doe comes running back after being chased and harassed by a small buck. She's come back looking up in the trees again, determined she's going to find him. People say deer don't look up. This deer is not only looking up, but she's studying his ground scent and looking up, trying to locate the hunter. To me, it's pretty obvious this deer has seen someone or something in one of these trees before that has spooked her, and she has not forgotten it. I kind of relate it to a little dog I used to have. I had a Yorkshire Terrier that went down in the basement one day and caught a mouse. From that day forward, every time he went in the basement, he looked from corner to corner, against every wall, behind every little thing on the floor, hunting a mouse. The little dog never forgot that he caught a mouse in that basement, and you could never get it out of him until the day he died. This doe's looking up in a tree again. Now, people can say what they want, but the body language of this deer right here tells me that she suspects something's not right. She's done caught his ground scent, and her looking up in the trees the way she is, something at some time has spooked her from above, and I don't think this deer will ever forget that. Some people say this might be the deer you need to take out of the herd, but you know, having a doe around, whether she's looking for you or not, in the rut is still bait. Probably the best bait you can have. Them bucks don't know what she's looking at. They just know she's acting nervous. And during the rut, all does act nervous. So they overlook that a lot of times. If she's getting hot, them bucks don't care anyway. Still looking up. Now, I'm pretty sure deer look up in trees. Sometimes it can get a little bit aggravating when a doe hangs around for so long trying to figure things out. The other deer around them almost seem to lose any concern of what this deer is actually doing. At first, the deer all seem nervous because one deer's on edge, but after a while I've seen the other deer just start to ignore her, and I think it frustrates the lead doe. You can look, she's not real happy about this other doe ignoring her. Anyway, my son's got quite a show going on in front of him this morning. I'm pretty sure he's having fun, on high alert. Although he's videoing these does, I would imagine he's got one eye looking out for a buck to be sneaking in, because a lot of times if you're watching these does like this and you're not paying attention, that buck will catch you with your britches down. And I'm here to tell you, it ain't a fun thing to happen to you. Now, I don't know if you just heard that deer grunting or not on the video, but there's a buck out there just out of bow range. He started grunting, and that doe actually took off toward him. And now the chase is on. Really, it's not much of a chase. This big old buck's just going to kind of walk along with her. Sometimes during the rut, I'm not sure who's chasing who. If the bucks are chasing the does, or the does are chasing the bucks. I've actually watched it both ways. Once I would watch a doe run away from a buck multiple times only to stop, bleat, get his attention in order to get the chase started again. I watched that all morning long. Matthew decided to hunt the same spot for an evening hunt as well. He wasn't sitting there very long before he realized he had made the right choice. You got a doe in heat or fixing to come into heat, bucks are chasing her. Why would you leave the spot where the does are hanging out? Get in there with them, hang tight. Your luck might just get right. Oh, poet didn't know it. This doe right here, I believe, is the same doe. You can hear her walking up into the frame right now. I believe this is the same doe that was in there that morning, looking up in the trees, checking his scent out, being very persistent. She goes right back, starts ground checking the scent again, sniffing, studying it all over again, like she had never forgot he had walked through there that morning. Now you just watch this deer. That's exactly what she's doing. And the other deer in the area don't seem to mind the ground scent. They're more concerned with chasing and rutting, but not this doe. This doe cannot leave it alone. Very persistent. She may not be quite as nervous since she's already smelt it and really couldn't figure it out the first time. But you just keep watching her. She's not going to give up. Now is she going to look up in the trees again? That'd be a dead giveaway that it's the same doe, wouldn't it? It amazes me how they get locked in like that. They just don't give up. Now if a doe does this, can you imagine what an old mature buck would do when he comes in and checks your ground scent after you've left? It ain't his first rodeo. He would pretty much know exactly what's going on and know to avoid you from that point on. I believe that's why it's so important to stay mobile and keep these older mature bucks guessing. Because if a doe does this and looks up in the tree and spots you, then you know the old boys is going to get you too. Well, it's time for my morning hunt. I had a pretty uneventful morning myself. It didn't take me long to realize that I was not in the hot seat. I sat there for quite a while before I even heard a deer walk through. When it was confirmed that I was hearing deer, not squirrels, I noticed that I had a mama doe and fawns. As soon as I saw the mama doe with her fawns coming through, very calm, feeding on acorns, not a care in the world, I knew I was not going to be any rut action. So I just kicked back and watched the mama doe, the fawns feed through. Anytime you see a mama with her fawns, you know she's not in heat. That's a given. The mama doe will separate herself from the fawns when she starts getting right. If she don't, the bucks will separate her for them. Usually you'll see the fawns by themselves, without the mama. You know the mama's around there somewhere, possibly being chased around by a buck. When you see them together like this, it's a very good indicator that you're not going to see any rut action that morning. It's not going to say that a small buck won't come in there and harass them because they don't know any better. But that don't count. In my opinion, I just look at small bucks like teenage boys. They don't know what they're doing, and they ain't quite, developed manhood yet. So they got a little bit to learn. Got some good rubs in here, scrapes, and a pinch point. Ain't seen nothing. Time's getting right though. If I'm gonna see something, should be soon.